Would you like to know what might be the absolutely stupidest part about real estate here in the province of BC? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think is just absolutely silly about real estate in our province right after I ask you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the BC marketplace. If you have questions about real estate, specifically pertaining to my marketplace of Surrey BC and the Fraser Valley, you can book a call with me right down below in the description at a time that's convenient for you. And if you wanted to help educate other people on the silliness that is our marketplace here in BC, you could hit the like button. It would mean the world to me. That would help me get this message out to other people who are also looking to stay informed about local real estate. So thank you so much for hitting the like. Really? It's free. Just click it. So thank you so much for hitting the like button. I really appreciate it. All right, so I have an opinion here that may not be a popular one, but I do want to share it because this is something that I think is very, very important for everybody out there to know. And my opinion is much like YouTube channels. I do believe everybody has a right to their own. That even makes sense? And today's opinion revolves around a little bit of paperwork that every agent in my marketplace of Surrey BC, or the whole province for that matter, a little bit of paperwork that we have to fill out on every single offer that comes into us for any one of our listings. So let me state, in my opinion,
disclaimer,
that the disclosure of expected remunerations from the seller might be the absolute silliest, some might even say stupidest, part about BC real estate. But not necessarily for the reasons that you might think, like being a whiny real estate agent. And now I'll explain. See, back in 2016, when the market ran absolutely rampant, the government does what the government likes to do, and that is to blame the real estate agents for the market going so crazy. Total bias realtor opinion here, but that's kind of like blaming the guy pumping your gas for the cost of gas. But I'll try and stay on topic. So what the government did is they funded a report that would identify all the problems that are happening within the marketplace, and therefore ideally making home prices more affordable. Then at the time, the newly installed superintendent of real estate enforced some of those regulations. And obviously, by looking at house pricing charts across the Fraser Valley, you can tell that those measures put in worked perfectly to reduce housing prices. Well, not exactly. Home prices have actually almost doubled since then, but that's besides the point. Let's get back to this form. So the gist of this form is when an offer comes in, me as the listing realtor, I need to disclose to my sellers in a dollar amount what the fees would be if they accepted that offer. Now, I believe transparency is a very good thing, so this form on its own is not terrible at all. Even though the client has already signed off on the commission that would be payable, it could be written as a percentage basis. So with the offer coming in, this clarifies and puts exactly the dollar amount that they will be paying on paper, so there's no confusion. And I think that's great. The disclosure according to the form shows you the total amount the real estate professionals will receive if you accept the offer, how much will be shared with the other brokerage representing the buyer, and any payments your real estate agent professional will receive or expects to receive in connection with this transaction. Seems all good, right? Well, let's keep going. In this disclosure, not only does me, your agent, or whoever your agent is, have to disclose to you and sign off on it, but they also have to put in the buyer's name or potential buyer's name, as well as the brokerage that the buyer has hired in order to help with the purchase. Also, to be fair, in writing, we have to say when the offer was made, how much the offer is for, and when this disclosure was presented. So far, we're all good, right? It makes a lot of sense. So now let's put it into practical use. You receive an offer on your property, and it's for $500,000, which is great because it was listed for $500,000. Well, if you accept this offer, the total commissions payable could be, depending on what you negotiated with your agent, $17,000. Of that, your agent keeps almost $9,200, and the buyer's agent will receive over $7,800. And likely your agent isn't receiving any money from anybody else, so the bottom field will probably be zero, unless they are receiving money from somebody else. I haven't seen that ever filled out yet, but whatever. So you sign off on that and you understand that you accepted the offer and those are the commissions you will pay, right? Not exactly. Well, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe your $500,000 offer was on your $1 million property and you don't really care to accept this offer. So you counter them back for, I don't know, let's say $1 million, because that's what you were asking. And then they come back to you with a new counter offer of $501,000. Well, now your agent fills out the form again and shows you that your commissions, if you accept that extra $1,000, has gone up by about $25. And then the math is split up again from there to the two different agents. And then you counter back and say, no, indeed, I'm not interested. Let's say this time my property was actually listed for $600,000 and I want $600,000. So you counter offer back. Here's the stupid part of the form. Your offer going out is not required to be written down. So if the buyer were to accept your $600,000 counter offer, the form requirements would not show the commission that you actually have payable. But of course, they're probably not going to do that because they're lowballing you, and back comes another counter offer for $502,000 where the commission goes up again another $25. Everybody's time is being wasted. And then you get ticked off and you stop counter offering because you're just not interested in such a silly offer. Or maybe you do get a counter offer back from the other person and it is $600,000. Well, obviously now you know that the commission is going to go up substantially, in this case by about $2,500, but that's obvious because the offer price is now $100,000 more. So let me get a little bit further into the weeds. What if you receive 25 offers on your property listed at $500,000 and some of the offers are for $350,000 and some of the offers are for $1 million? You still have to be presented with this paperwork for every single offer in case you really wanted to just give somebody a deal and undersell your property. So you can kind of see the silliness. The worst part is that there is no details here about outgoing offers. So the form that you sign off on has the potential of never actually having the right information on it, which I think is silly. Now, at one point I happened to have a conversation with the lawyer responsible at council when this whole thing was put in place with the superintendent, and he agreed. His pitch was the incoming offer should have a dollar volume attached to it, and then the accepted offer, either coming in or going out, should have a dollar volume attached to it. But as we all know, government doesn't always work the best way possible, and this is what we ended up with. But I'm not at the stupid part yet. No, I'm not at the stupid part yet. I think that this is actually a great form, and transparency should be shown to absolutely everybody. Now let me show you the dumb part. Right down at the bottom where you, the seller, are now to acknowledge the amount of commission you would pay if you accepted that offer. It clearly states here on the paperwork that your initials as the seller who could be paying these fees is open bracket, optional, close bracket, colon. Meaning that you don't actually even have to sign the paperwork, which I guess I kind of understand. But this paperwork was put in place to try and curb any shady business around commissions. And now your signature is not required on the paperwork to prove commissions, nor is the commission actually payable required to be on the paperwork. So if I was one of those agents that was trying to circumvent the rules and pull some kind of shady stuff, I could just hand in the paperwork filled out with the commissions that I was really charging without your signature on it, and no one would be the wiser. Do you see what I'm saying? However, I'm going to go back to that conversation I had with counsel's lawyer. At the time when this whole thing was introduced, I asked him, do you not find it stupid that they don't require a signature from the seller, and the fact that the signature, if you even do get it, may not even be on the amount that is payable? And his response to me was, if you don't comply with the regulation, your defense for non-compliance cannot be that the regulation is stupid. So this is kind of into the weeds, but I wanted you to know as a seller, you are going to see this form. If you don't see this form, you need to ask questions. And really, you should probably have it filled out, even if the offer is incoming or outgoing. At the end of the day, the commissions that you are actually paying should be on this form. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It really means a lot to me. Check out this playlist about other real estate tips while you're here on the channel, and we'll see you in a couple of days.